All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dynamite Recap with the Drip King and Jimmy Bebe. Spirits are a little higher today. Still repping NWO today as well. We had a pretty good episode of Dynamite. I'm always going to compare this week to last week. That's how I'll do Dynamite from now on until they figure out that momentum and keeping it and rolling with it. Last week's was just bad, and this week was a very big step up in my opinion. It was their St. Patrick's Day Slam show. That will be an annual thing they got going on, and it was main evented by the two girls who main evented last year and just stole the show and had one of the top matches of the year. So very good show to look forward to, and I feel like it delivered for the most part. But we'll get right into the show because that's what we're here to do. They started the show off right out the gate, going back to that formula I love so much. The first 30 minutes just being so, just bam, bam, so good. We got the Undisputed Era, no other name for them, the Undisputed Era, taking on the Jurassic Express, and I'm going to keep calling them that too because there's no reason not to. And Hangman and a Page 6-man match. The 6-man matches in AEW, they're hit or miss. Either there's way too much going on, or the cohesion and the formula they're using works really well. Tonight was one of those moments where the cohesion was just amazing, and the match was very, very fun. Everyone's always going to scream bias when I'm talking about an Adam Cole match, and rightfully so. I'm always going to be a little bit biased, but I do think this was a fun match. As small of a moment as it was, I really liked when Adam Page and Adam Cole got the tag, and it wasn't a rush in and do something. They just came in, got in each other's face. This feud is going to continue. The heat it's building up. We're going to get another match that I fully believe will blow out the One Revolution. It'll blow it out of the water. But this match got a lot of time. I think it ended up going like 20, 25 minutes. And it ended when Adam Cole, baby, got the pinfall over Jungle Boy. My poor old Jungle Boy. He had to be the victim here. But that's the way she goes. Good way to start the show, though. From there, we go to the back. We get an interview segment with Keith Lee, Ricky Starks, and Will Hobbs. They're still jawing at Keith Lee. But he's trying to promote his match against Max Castro on Rampage. So I was like, why are these three together? That don't really make a whole lot of sense other than the fact that they don't like each other. But yeah, that's all this really was. And then Starks and Hobbs gave him you better watch out. It's our show. And it is. They're always over it. Thank you, babe. I will try to keep up the good work. From there, we got another fun match. It was crowded on the outside of the ring. Thank you, babe. It was very crowded outside of the ring. We had Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley with William Regal against Wheeler Utah versus Chuck Taylor with Orange Cassidy, Trent. I think Statlander was out there, and Danhausen all on the outside of the ring. That's like 4 or 5 people on the outside of the ring while this match is going on inside the ring. Good action here. Wheeler Utah was showing some aggression and he was ready for this war. At one point, Daniel Bryan was doing the kicks, and he's just like, "Come on, bring him on." Gets up, starts fighting off Danielson and Mox. He's impressing, but Danielson and Mox ended up being too much, and ended when Mox locked in that whatever it's called, where he's wrenching on Wheeler Utah's neck, and he had to tap out. I roared. So after the match, things get a little bit interesting. And this is what I was hoping would happen with Danielson. Wheeler Utah was leaving with the Best Friends group, and then he kind of looked back at Danielson and Mox. And when Danielson started this whole thing about trying to recruit Moxley, Wheeler, Utah was one of the names he dropped, where we need to fix people like that. He's got the talent, he just needs guidance. So Wheeler, Utah looked back at him and decided to go in the ring, and he went to shake Regal's hand, and Regal said, "Huh," smacked the shit out that boy. After that, though, they kind of like jawed a little bit, and they told him to go on. They liked what Utah showed by getting in the ring and wanting to be part of that. They're gonna make him work for it, though. Clearly, I like that. I like where this is going. We just got to get the likes of my man Lee Moriarty involved in this too, and it's gonna be a beast. Yes, as my man Dave said, he likes the idea. You want in this group, you have to win your way in. Yes, absolutely. And maybe not even win your way in, just prove you are worthy and you're an ass kicker. That's it. And I think Wheeler, Utah would be a great induction into this group. It'll be good. After that, we go to an FTR interview. They're talking about how they fired Tully, but they respect Tully. Things weren't just working out, and they needed there was like a little Bret Hart hint in there. I would be very shocked if Bret Hart showed up and was their manager, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened this year, and it's only March. But the Young Bucks interrupt because everyone was so excited to see these guys in both of the Battle Royals to determine who would face at Revolution. They had their moments where they faced off, and people want to see it. And FTR deserves it. They deserve a win over the Young Bucks, and we need to make that happen. That was the interview, though. There was nothing crazy about it. Then we get a Max Caster promo where he's talking about his match with Keith Lee on Rampage. And then in comes Starks, and he starts hyping him up. You can do it. You can do it. You got this. Blah, blah, yada, yada. And then Davis said there was some subtle pink lighting in the background behind FTR. Well, it shocked me. I would be shocked if Bret Hart came. But, again, crazy things have happened this year. Over in WWE, we have Brock Lesnar as like the biggest babyface. So I mean, that crazier things have happened this year. But during the whole promo that Cash was cutting in, and the Starks and Hobbs interrupted him on, in comes Swerve Strickland, who I am very excited about being AEW. If you didn't watch him on Rampage, go do it. Check it out. He has a presentation and a style that is just completely different than anything else in AEW, and he's going to be a big deal. I think he's going to be one of the better signings of not like someone like a Punk or a Cole or the big names that are already big names. I think Swerve is going to be big for him. But he steps in, he's cutting a promo on all of them, basically letting it be known, like, who you think is your house on Rampage? I was main event my first time and I won. It's not your house. It's Swerve's house. That's right. That's what it was. After that, we get the Jericho Appreciation Society. And last week I said, what a stupid name. This week, after going through the promo and listening, I love it. I love it 100%. What Jericho is doing right now is amazing. I think someone mentioned that he's kind of like pulling it off what Matt Cardona does online. I don't care. Jericho is working the whole I'm a sports entertainer thing because it would be one of the best heel acts in all of AEW because they hate sports entertainment. My only issue with this is they changed 2.0 rules name. If I'm not calling them 2.0s, what the heck am I supposed to say every time they come out? It's 2.0 rules, not whatever crazy names he gave them. I wasn't down with that. But basically Jericho was cutting the promo. First off, 2.0 rules. They put over Jericho big time, and that's why they're with him. Then Jericho is like, hey, you guys don't appreciate me. I do this, I do that. People in the back, people in the crowd. Nobody appreciates me. And then he said, you know, I'm not a professional wrestler. I'm a sports entertainer. Daniel Garcia grabs Mike, and he's like, whoa, what did you just say? You're not a professional wrestler. You're a sports entertainer. Well, if that's the case, so I'm a sports entertainer. That's crazy because Daniel Garcia is one of those guys I think that would fit in with Brian Danielson. I'm never going to get over that. Brian Danielson and John Mox's crew, I think he would be a great addition to it, but they're going with this. He's going to be a sports entertainer with Chris Jericho. I look forward to seeing where they go with that. I think this is going to be all good stuff. That's my opinion, though. We'll see where it goes. But Jericho has a tendency to reinvent himself. We all know this. And sometimes he just knocks it completely out of the park. And I believe this is one of those times. From there, we get a Sheeta versus Deeb video. Oh, one more thing to add to the Jericho Appreciation Society segment. He name dropped my man Kevin Owens, talking about the reason 2.0 rules is in AEW is because his ex best friend Kevin called him up and said, "Hey, these guys, give him a chance." So now they get a chance. So from there, John Moxley is a pretty cool team. John Moxley, yes, they are a cool team. From there, we get a Sheeta versus Deeb video package. Thank you very much. We need more Serena Deeb on the TV. She is a badass, and she needs to go over in the Sheeta thing, and she needs to be the next challenger for the women's title. In my opinion, we'll get more of that later. But yes, I like that they've had this kind of almost like a blood feud between the two women, and it's not revolved around a title. That's what AEW needs to do more with in that women's division. Moxley, you got it. There you go. And this one has been done very well. The last time we saw Sheeta, prior to last week, she just got destroyed by Deeb. She sold the injury. She was gone. She comes back. She wants her revenge. Video package. Do the match next week. Done well. Good job, AEW. We need more of that. Not just with the women's division, though, with the whole division. But yes, most importantly, the women's division. So we got interview, promo, segment, and then video package, all back to back. Spread them out a little bit. That's a little gripe. Just spread them out a little bit. From there, we get the Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky squash match. And it ended up not being a squash match at all. Scorpio Sky came out. He had one belt, the other belt around Dan Lambert's waist. I love it. It's awesome. People really hate Dan Lambert, and this was genius. Deeb in with Mox and Danielson to recruit some women to that groom. Yes, please. If there's any woman in AEW that fits that group, it is Serena freaking Deeb. Make it happen. Good work. Nice call, David. So the Wardlow Scorpio Sky match with Lambert on the outside. TNT title around his waist. And yes, it is his TNT title. It's gifted to him, so it's his bad boy. Scorpio Sky got a little cocky. Wardlow over him. He's doing his thing. Power bombs came. I blinked and missed a certain thing. I guess when Wardlow went to get the pin, the people on the outside, Paige and her husband and Lambert, they all distract the ref, so he didn't get the pin. Then out comes Shawn Spears, and he distracts the ref. Ref goes like, "What is going on?" As this is happening, Wardlow's on the outside. MJF comes, bap, hits him, rolls him in the ring. Ref comes back. Scorpio Sky gets on him. 1, 2, 3. So what we have here is Wardlow with a glass jaw. Just joking. I hope that's not the case at all. But I don't like how easily this man went down in this match. I know this is to further the MJF storyline, which I'm looking forward to big time. I think it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to make Wardlow into a superstar with AEW. I just don't like how easy he looked like it was for him to be taken out. It wasn't good. But so yes, Scorpio Sky wins and retains his AEW title, or TNT title. I did not see that one coming. I'll be honest. I thought there might be some interference, but I thought Wardlow was going to come overcome it and do what he does because that's the way he's been built. Yeah. After the match, Spears, MJF, everybody that was out there, except for Wardlow, gets in and starts beating Wardlow's butt. Wardlow fends him off, and he grabs MJF. He's about to powerbomb, and that's what we're all waiting for. We want to see the powerbomb symphony on Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Unfortunately, there was Shawn Spears with the chair to make it not happen. Bam. Then we got the diamond ring punch. Bow. Then they all just took the turns, beating him up. And it ended when MJF walked over and gave Dan Lambert a stack of cash. This was a hit job, and the job was done to perfection. So we are off to the races with MJF versus Wardlow. Interesting thing to add here. It looks like CM Punk is on a break because this is a moment would have come to make the save. But this is 2 weeks in a row now. He's gone. No CM Punk on Dynamite for the time being, which is probably good because I didn't think there was literally anywhere for him to go other than the AEW title. So taking him away, that's a smart thing to do, in my opinion. I really thought Wardlow would have won, but that Dan Lambert told the ref, and I knew it was over. Yes, that damn Dan Lambert. Everybody hates him except for me. I love Dan Lambert. I think he's hilarious. So from there, we had a Jade Cargill interview, and she's still asking, who's next? Because she's Bill Goldberg now. Nobody answered the challenge, so we don't know who's next. That's the segment. Done. Scrap it. I just told you. From there, we get the Hardys. They're not the Hardy Boys. They're the Hardys, and they're taking on Private Party. They come out. They get a nice pop. They're excited to see Jeff. And then Jeff did not. He's a little ring rust. He's got a little ring rust. He looked out of it with the little bit of time he was in this. But for the first time they've been tag team, and was it like over 2 years now? They didn't look bad, but it's the Hardy Boys. They've been tagging forever. They're gonna have that cohesion, that chemistry. Not a terrible match. Just again, I think Jeff looked a little sluggish in this one. And Matt is Matt at this point. Private Party is Private Party. So I feel like this is a good first match for the Hardys before we throw them into the tag team division and get that eventual tag team title run, which we all know is going to happen. Afterwards, Andrade comes out, and the whole AFO, Andrade Family Organization, I think is what it's called. They circle the ring, and they're about to pounce on the Hardys, and then out comes Darby Allin and Sting to make the save. They get in, slide in the ring. It's crazy because AFO just kind of lets them instead of cutting them off, but whatever. They get in the ring, and then AFO's like, let's just go. We don't want this. So they leave. Darby and Sting, they get their moment, and that's it. That's the thing. From there, they go to a Red Velvet interview in the back where she's just talking about her match on Rampage with Layla Hirsch, because that feud is stemming from the Chris Statlander Layla Hirsch feud that I believe just ended at Revolution. So there's nice just progression there. Jeff Hardy is the only reason. Yes, Jeff Hardy is the only reason Matt Hardy is wrestling right now, and they gave Private Party a great showing. This was a win-win all around. I believe that to an extent. I want to see Jeff. I hope it's not just ring rust. I hope it's just ring rust with Jeff. I hope he get some pep in his step. That's what I hope we see. And I think the Hardys are a great addition to AEW just for the fact they're going to bring in some fans who remember the Hardys and be like, oh, I'm going to tune in to watch these guys. I think it's the best mainstream pickup I think they've picked up in AEW yet. Hopefully they can capitalize on Jeff and now the Hardy Boys. And there's no reason they shouldn't, because again, the Hardy Boys are a big part of wrestling over the past 25 years. So we'll see where it goes. Now it's time for the main event. We got Thunderosa versus Brit Baker for the AEW Women's Championship inside a steel cage on almost exactly the 1 year anniversary of their non-sanctioned match from last year, which again, at the beginning of the show, was fantastic. One thing I will point about this is it really seemed like they were just trying to one up last year's match instead of trying to just have another great match. With that said, I think the spots they did were crazy. I don't think it was a terrible match by no means. It was not as good as the match at Revolution, and it wasn't as good as last year's match, in my opinion, though. Thunder Rosa came out. She had her special entrance, full face paint. She went in. That was my opinion when I first saw it, and it's in her hometown, and like it's her birthday, I believe, or it's something with her birthday this week. So all the stuff was there for Thunder to win. Britt Baker comes out, and I gotta give her the nod. Thank you very much, with the Scott Hall oozing machismo gear in the black and white. Thank you, Britt. That was nice. Again, the spots. There was a spot where they stacked chairs. Britt was stacking up chairs, and she stacked them like 2 or 3 high, and they got on the top. And then Thunder smashed her head in the cage, and she fell down, and she hit things, and they were sturdy. and she just stopped. I think she was supposed to go through the chairs, and then she didn't. So that hurt her. But it wasn't enough. She kicked out. They brought the tax back out, of course. Got a backdrop on them. You got a power bomb on them that Thunder slipped up on. And there was one more spot on the tax. So they use those a lot. They use chairs a lot. I think I nailed it. I explained it perfectly. I think they should have just focused on having a good match instead of trying to one up last year's. That's what I'll say about it. With that said, if you enjoy hardcore matches or anything like this, watch it because it's entertaining. I'm not knocking it at all. It's an entertaining match. But the chair spot I was explaining, and I wrote in my notes, it stupid, capital letters. It was stupid. Brit really got hurt there. Holding off on doing this till the night was the right call. Hometown weigh-in, crowd reaction. The crowd reaction was believable. I'm not going to take that away. I don't believe you should have took the belt off Britt Baker, though. Is Thunder a better wrestler? Yes. Is Thunder a big enough star to fill the void that you're going to have now with Britt Baker not being champion? No. Nope. And winning this is not going to elevate Thunder because Thunder is already Thunderosa. I think you should have held off Britt losing this title until it was a star-making moment for someone else. And just because she's had the title a long time doesn't mean it's the right time to take it off her. That's my opinion. We'll see how it goes, though. Maybe they'll prove me wrong with Thunderosa. We'll see. I'm not going to say it was the dumbest thing for them to do. I personally think it was the wrong choice, though. But, again, it did get the nice pop, which is always fun to see. But I just feel like we needed Vince McMahon booking this match so he could be like, no, the hometown woman can't go over. That's me. And you could say I'm programmed by WWE to think that. No, I don't think Britt was ready to lose that title. She is too big of a star for AEW right now to now potentially not be on the show sometimes because they don't have that much time for the women to begin with. So what are you going to sacrifice? You're going to take Britt off? I don't know. It was getting I agree it was getting stale, but I don't think her work is getting stale. I think the matches are getting stale. And it's because AEW, this is the biggest knock I'll give them, they don't do a good job of building up the women's division. There's some talent there, 100%. There is talent there, but they don't do enough to build up someone who's credible to beat Britt Baker. Honestly, Thunderosa wasn't even built up to take out Britt Baker. It was just Thunderosa been doing Thunderosa for so long, and she's beat Britt Baker before, so it's like, okay, yeah, we can just do that, and it works. No, it doesn't. You gotta build someone up to beat Britt and take that spot that Britt has made. She's such a big deal. To me, it's MJF, Britt Baker as far as the top two AEW homegrown stars. Like it's not even close. MJF and Britt. And now, again, you're going to keep Britt on AEW, then push Thunder Rosa over Rampage like you do with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus? And Sammy Guevara, you did that with him too. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to put Thunder Rosa on there and then give Britt like a minute segment to do her DMD moments? And like, what are they doing? I don't know. We'll see. But that was the show. I think, again, this was a step up from last week's show. The show went by quick. So that's always a good sign. That means things were happening and it was entertaining. I hope they can get back to where they were before Revolution, though, because they were on such a roll. They were just like hitting it out of the park. They were the best show, hands down, on TV. And then Revolution happened, and that momentum went. Whew. So let's get it back. Let's get it back, AEW. Let's take another step next week. Let's go one step further next week and give us a better show, and then get back to that work. With that said, I'll just leave. I think we're getting Kenny Omega back soon, and we are going to be moving into the next phase of Adam Cole, Heyman Page. We might even get a three-way for that title, which I'm not even mad at. Someone suggested it last month, and I was like, no, don't do that. But now I'm like, yeah, for the story that they're going to want them to do, let's do that. I think that's where they're heading now. And they'll probably enter that phase when Adam Cole gets his rematch with Hangman Page. That'll be the entrance to Kenny Omega. write it down, take a picture, whatever. Remember, I said it. Yeah, that's the show. Thank you for joining me. I will be back with WrestleBuddy on, I think, Friday. I think we're switching the podcast to Friday, so I'll see you on Friday. And if not, then you will see me next Monday night for the recap of Raw. And again, one last time, Kenny. Nope, I don't think so. I think AW gets all the secrets kept, so I think they're holding it close to the chest, and Kenny's coming back. He's been doing rehab for a little bit. I think they can bring him back and slowly bring him back into the fold of things. We'll see. But thank you again for joining me. That's the third time I'm saying thank you, because I really appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate you joining me. Appreciate you participating with me. And I will see you again on Friday. If not, then on Monday. And if you don't watch Raw, then I'll see you next week for this recap. So goodbye. No boom, because we're still doing this. Hey, Chico. Bye.